As Brendan said earlier, our city manager remains in the role of connecting with the developers all over the nation for our economic development efforts, and it's our job to support those efforts through the planning and zoning process. Dining in Del City that highlights businesses each month is a big part of that push. June was Honeybee Donuts, so if you haven't been to Honeybee Donuts, you got one more day in this month of our highlight with their great, great people. In July, it'll be #1 Barbecue Express. They're off sooner, so exciting. Just so you know, there's a lot more that goes into the dining in Del City that your marketing personnel does from the economic development support side. If you're not aware, they'll create a commercial for the businesses that we're highlighting. They also sit down and create like a social media platform plan for those businesses that helps them increase their profit and their awareness in the community and brings more people into the city. So we really work with them and give them these tools for free to help promote their business. So it takes a lot of time and effort for those things. So we're really trying to invest in the businesses that come here to show that they can really thrive here in Del City and not East Del City over there. In 2022, the planning office brought in 55 or helped bring in 55 new businesses that came into Del City. Some of those were Off the Hook, Palm Beach Canning, Go 54, Simply Gorgeous Event Center, Naughty Growing House. If you haven't been there, that's really fun. Sensational Kids Incorporated. The Center is a great business that came in. 2023 is going to be no different. Things are fast and furious growing. You guys have really attracted some people into Del City with all the efforts being made. 37 new businesses so far to date in 2023. Salad and Go, #1 Barbecue Express, Yum Yang, I'm sure I didn't say that right. That's what we all know as the Old Don's Alley. That restaurant is in AutoZone, moving off of 15th and Sunny Lane. Unlatched Success Learning Center, and then we have many new projects coming, such as a Walmart remodel. Lindy's is looking to remodel. Hot Vision, that's there at 29th and Dickey. Dental Depot is the old Roundup pizza that will be coming in. Electrical Solutions Company is coming into town. Roughnecks Industrial is new and will be new to Del City coming in. Long John Silver's. Many of us probably miss Long John Silver's. They are going to build back with their new store concept, so that's going to be exciting for our town. And just a tidbit, if you didn't know, that was the largest selling Long John Silver's in Metro. So they have really missed not being open, so they're excited to get their plans turned in. Our group works alongside the residents that participated, so thank you to everybody that came out in the fall about the comprehensive plan that's been talked about. Spent a lot of hours on that, taking your input, your ideas, the ideas of the council members that you have voted into office, and put a lot of effort into this comprehensive plan to have big, big plans for city in the future. So we're looking to have a complete rough draft of that around the end of the summer of this year. So keep watching out for future dates of when we'll get back together to share what that comprehensive plan is going to look like. So keep staying involved and invested in your city and where it's growing. Permits and inspections department, you'll see some new garage sale signs. I know this throws everybody's soul. Won't be the little bags anymore. Show city symbols and stuff going around. There's thousands of permits and inspections that run through the community development department. As of February the 1st of this year, we've tried to streamline and simplify that process some, where it's not so painful to go through. I hear the mayor saying yes. We will continue those efforts. It's all online now. It's a digital process. There's not as much paperwork. And we have a whole plan where people come in. They come in and sit down with us. We pre-plan with them. The fire department has been critical. Public Works has been critical. Planning, to sitting down with the business owners that want to come in and review the things that they're bringing into the town to make sure we can support them as a community. The fire department can get in and run calls if they need to. Public Works has the appropriate sewer and water lines that are going to the properties. So we spend endless hours with people, as many meetings as they would like to have, to go over their plans for coming in the city to make that valuable and important to them and to make sure that they're heard. So a big push that we're having for the upcoming year. Our team is spent many hours for the grant that you were talking about, Councilman Dean, the Community Development Block Grant. It helps fund some of our big goals and dreams that we have for the city because, you know, we are small, so it takes all the money that we can find through grants like Councilwoman Brown brought up. Community Development Block Grant is just one of those things. So many hours by the city manager Hawk and myself and our team had to put into that, and we're going to continue that push year after year to obtain those funds for all of the big ticket items that we've been talking about. Lastly, our team is honored to be working alongside the Public Works team. If you haven't driven around the city in the last few days and seen the endless hours and the heat and the weather that these people put in trying to beautify our city for us and mow and weed and edge, answer every call of this is overgrown, that's overgrown, this water's out. They've done a great job. The Parks and Beautification Committee has been integral in opening our eyes to some new ways that we can make it better. The SHINE program that Councilwoman Finch brought up, and other partners. You know, we're going to have a big push this year to make sure that our parks are manicured and inviting for families to enjoy. And then we're going to emphasize that you're working on our creeks, to work on the water flow, the appearance, to clean those out. That's a big endeavor if you've ever driven by some of our creeks to see that we're right there. So we're taking on a big chunk, so we hope to see a big difference in the community coming soon. But as everybody else has said, we have a huge open door policy in community development. If you have an idea, even if it's not our department, we'll get you in contact with the right person. We'll sit down and visit with you. We'll work with you any way we can. So just send them our way. We'll be happy to help.
I want to be careful with this. I wonder if we can keep the air conditioning going. Right, Michelle? Are you ready? Michelle Stoll is our HR director, and since she's come on board, we've had a tremendous increase in filled positions. Is that saying that right? We don't have as many vacancies as we have, but tell us about it.
Well, as he said, when I came on board, there were around 29 open positions for the city, and there were 2 people in our HR department who were doing the best they could. So we initiated a new onboarding program, and we've been able to maintain between, at that time, there was 28 open positions, and that's how it finished for quite a while. We maintain between 9 and 14 open positions now. So we did the whole onboarding process, got the benefits, and with the council things that we can do in the case of about past, we have a DP pay that we were never going to be able to keep people. So that was one thing I wanted to talk about, was that we did come up with a new pay scale that makes sense and makes us competitive. Last year, actually starting January, the Department of Reserve allowed us to add additional benefits in the EAP program, which is an employee assistance program. There's 4 employees, there's no charge for employees and for staff. It was very successful. I can start the first school report. It was utilized 67 times within the first 4 months. So that's huge. It offers financial assistance, attorneys, crisis, all kinds of things. If you're going out of town and they need someone to sit their dog, they can help us with that. So that's been a great addition, and our employees are being graceful. Right now, we have 14 open positions as of July 1st. I want to give you a little snapshot. When, for the last year, we have had 49 terminations, 6 of them were retirees. That put us on track for a 26% turnaround ratio. When you take out the retirees, that's 23%. The national average for businesses is 57.3. So Bill said it's doing something right to retain their employees. That we've hired 55 people. I want to give you an update on the staff. It was Jan that had been with us multiple years. She did retire. Madonna's been with us for 18 years. Madonna stepped up into the payroll position, which is a huge undertaking. So I'm going to give her kudos. Tracy joined our team in September. And since then, she has become our training coordinator. She helped me to perfect the onboarding process, the benefits, and all of that, making sure we're educating our employees. We have also brought Ariel on board. She is new. I'm excited to let you know that we have all joined the Oklahoma Society for Human Resources. So we do their classes, and we have been in touch with everybody that's in human resources. I'm also a national member, and our staff will be national members too. We have recently just purchased what is the Society for Human Resources PHR program. It's a certification thing of an equivalent to an accountant being a CPA. So our goal, I'm already, I have been here since 2007. We have our two senior staff members becoming also certified, so it's done well now for the city. Be able to educate and abide by laws and bring a positive influence to all of our employees. So, and then, thank you guys for everything, and hopefully, we can do
Where do you want to put another hand on?
Sure.
Who are you going to represent?
Finance
Must be finance.
is the easiest one. So we did receive the final audit report back for fiscal year 21-22, and we are proud to announce that there was not one single finding on there. So thank you to the finance department. The upcoming AMI project, we're back to that again. The American Rescue Plan Act funds is what helped pay for this project. Estimated cost came in about $1.3 million. This will upgrade every water meter in the city to electronic digital meters, and that is going to help improve the accuracy, accountability, and the transparency of the water consumption citywide. It goes back to all the COMC stuff that Councilman Lee was talking about. It's imperative that we know how much water is coming in versus how much water is going out. Again, that project is scheduled to start on March 23rd, and
All right.
thank you. So, we have Bruce Beaver from Smart Earth Technologies. He is our project manager on this. Awesome. And then we have Chris DeRoy, our water line maintenance supervisor. He's spearheading this project on the city side. They will both be available after this meeting, and we have any questions they'll be able to answer from the technical side as well as the city side. So thank you both for being here, especially Bruce.
All right. Are we going to start charging the fire department for the water they use?
Yes, this. We're the first one to get the meter.
Switch hats now.
So, I came back to the city in December of 2020 in a time where customer service was almost non-existent. Yes, it was. So I'm grateful for that it gave me the opportunity to come back. But if we, I couldn't do wrong, right? I am very, very proud of where we're at today, and we have come leaps and bounds in resident communication and listening and trying to problem solve things like that. We have really amped up our presence on social media, and we watch all of the groups. Just know, even if we don't respond, we are watching. We hear you, we see it. We might have closed door discussions about it to figure out how to solve the problem, but we are very active on social media. And not just me, it's me and Kelly and Michelle and the mayor and council, and oh yeah, okay, well, not the mayor, but all the rest of us are all watching, I promise. We are taking every opportunity that we can to get better about communicating and educating our residents about what's going on. I pop in at neighborhood watch meetings. Our neighborhood watch groups are always welcome me with open arms and giving me an opportunity to talk about non-neighborhood watch stuff, just so you guys know what's going on. We have our quarterly newsletter, and that helps get news out. We are streaming council meetings on our YouTube channel, and to give people the opportunity to watch it safely from home if they can't make it out and come up to City Hall. City Manager Hawk is very big. He loves to talk, so any opportunity that we can get to talk He's gonna start putting on town halls every opportunity that he gets, so be watching for those dates. That's just gonna be another way for you all to connect, not only to your elected officials, but have the staff present to answer any questions. We appreciate the support of you and the council and everything that we've done. And the last year, the last several months, to go back to what Councilman Dean says, we're not really separate anymore. And just, I feel like we are listening to you all better, just like they're listening to us better. And it really benefits you all more than anyone, and it really makes it a lot easier to come back to work. So thank you, council, for everything that you do to support our efforts. We are moving forward. Again, these little cards, I have them on the center of each table. There are also printed versions back there. I have every department head, as well as every council person, as well as Andy, Representative Fugate, and Senator Floyd. Their contact information is on it as well. If you all need anything, if you have any questions about anything that was talked about tonight, please reach out. We're here at all times of the day. That is your favorite slogan, and it has been for 10 years.
It has.
I know. So if you're good, I will jump into the meter project just a little bit. Okay.
I'm a fun pharaoh, you do it right.
Okay. So to paint a little picture, most of the meters that are in the ground right now are anywhere from 20 to 15 years old. So what happens when your meter gets old is it slows down until it eventually stops, which is good for you because you don't get billed for all the water that you use. So we have new digital meters coming in. What's great about that is it's going to free up the meter readers who log every month. It's going to really decrease the margin for human error putting in the reads. So the reads will actually now go through the FirstNet cell towers, and they will go directly to the utility billing office in real time. That is going to allow water line maintenance to really start working proactive projects for water line, rather than forcing them into a corner and only allowing them to be reactive. So that's really great. We're really happy for water line maintenance there. One of the best things about this program that we're rolling out is we will roll out a customer portal, and that will air later this year. That will allow you all as residents to go in real time and see what the reading is on your meter every hour. That will help you learn your usage. It will be able to set parameters. You can go in and tell the system things like, let me know if my water runs consecutively for 3 hours. People like my mom who leave their hoses on at night, we forget about them, and then they stroke when their water bill comes in the next month. We'll be able to set better protections for you all. You can tell it to let you know when your bill reaches a certain water consumption. It'll help you really oversee your costs and put you in control. Am I ready?
You're doing perfect.
I've given this speech like a billion times, so it's just like, I'm sorry for this.
We'll hire you next week.
I'm happy where I'm at. So the biggest risk, I shouldn't say risk, the biggest concern, there may be a slight increase in utility bills because these meters are going to read 100% of the time. The biggest thing that I want residents to know is that there's going to be grace when this rolls out. This is gonna be new for you, it's gonna be new for us. We're gonna be learning it as much as you're learning it. You might not know your water habits, you might just assume that, you use the same amount every month, and if there's an increase, please contact us and give us the opportunity to work with you and to help you through this process. July 10th, we will have contractors in town. While they're waiting for the rest of the meters to be shipped, they're going to start drilling holes in the meter lids. This will give water line maintenance time to check the meter boxes, see if there's any maintenance that needs to be done to help make this a smoother transition. These contractors will be clearly identified. They will be wearing vests, they will be wearing identification badges, and most of them will be accompanied by water line maintenance. If you are concerned, if you see someone in your yard and you're concerned and you don't see a city truck, please give us a call. We will get city staff out to your house to verify that they are who they say they are. Once we meet with them on the 10th, on the 11th, I'm sorry, I plan on taking pictures of what they will be looking like, and we will relay that on to you so that you know this is exactly who they're supposed to be. Did I hit everything? Again, I plan on being here, Krista Roy will be here, Bruce will be here every step of the way. If you all have any questions or concerns about this upcoming project or any further information, please let us know, we'll talk further. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Rudy. I've heard her give that speech a few times, I knew she was good. All right. All the staff and all the elected officials, this past 3-4 years, we've seen everybody come together and pulling in the same direction. And it makes it just a joy every meeting, just to associate. I think the city has moved forward quite a bit, and it's all the staff and the council, the police department, the fire department, everybody working together. Now let's come to the public portion. Is there anybody that would like to address the council, the staff, or have an idea they'd like to voice? This is the moment. Is there anybody? Walter, have you got something? You always have something. No? Really quick. This is Walter Jacks, and he represents the city of Dell City to ACOG.
Yeah, ACOG, for those of you who don't know, is the Association of Central Oklahoma Governments. It is what's called a metropolitan planning organization that funnels and administers funds like federal ODOT funds for bicycle trail grants. And that's the kind of thing that Dave is working on. And I've been working passionately on for probably the last 15 years. My deal is connecting the metropolitan areas safely, the municipalities of Midwest City, Dell City, and Oklahoma City, so that somebody can take their kids on a family-friendly ride very safely. Let's say from Tinker Air Force Base all the way to the zoo, where you don't have to ride on a mile section road, and every place that you cross a mile section road, there's already an existing signal, so you can do it very cheaply. And I know JD's working on it, but at any rate, I'm working on trying to identify grants that the city can use and use federal dollars instead of Dell City dollars, and that's what I do.
And you do a great job, Walter. Thank you for that. Is there someone else? Yes, sir.
I wanted to thank the fire department. My wife has fallen several times and they don't hesitate to come over and help get her up. I can't do it myself because I'm back from old. Then I have cancer, so I really appreciate my work.
Those fire trucks are kind of hard to see sometimes, you know, with all those lights. No, they look good, Chief, they do. Anybody else? Would anybody else like to speak? Yes, ma'am. Dean Hale.
I have a question to ask. It might be kind of too late to ask this question. But this letter that this parent was so kind to provide to us at the neighborhood watch meeting regarding the new meters, I was just curious if it wouldn't have been a good idea to include this letter in every individual's water bill, in that is a user of the utility services. Because once I posted this on Facebook, I got a bunch of questions about why wasn't this ever, why couldn't this have been put in a water bill so everyone would know about it? And then secondly, I guess my other question might be a technical question, I'm not sure. How do the meters pay for themselves?
I'll jump in on that. For one thing, right now we have 4 meter readers, and the reading of the meters is dependent upon human accuracy. Now, the human accuracy slogan is not as prevalent as human error. We hear human error more than we human accuracy. But here's what happens. We've got 4 men out reading meters. With this, we can take 3 of those men and position them in parks, working on something else, or working in public works. We could have 3 people on the payroll that we could move to another area. The second way that saves the city money was the old meters were bought in 1970, 1960, 1970, and they're mechanical devices. Mechanical devices wear out. As a meter wears out, it records less and less accurate, and it tends to fail to the side it's not counting every gallon of water that goes through the meter. So the city is treating all these gallons of water, and they're not being paid for them because the meters are inaccurate and they're not counting them. That will help the city to account for the cost of the water. It's basically, you're gonna pay for what you use. So that's 2 of the ways. Is there some way that I'm overlooking? You guys are the experts, and I'm calling. How else is that gonna help the city? Well, for one thing, we can get our building moved into a more efficient manner, because we're gonna be able to read directly from the meter readings, and it will go directly to the billing, and it will cut down the cycle time necessary. We've had problems with reading mechanical readers and getting those reports through. The meter readers are, if there's bad weather, if there's snow, if there's storms, they can't get out and meter readers, that'll throw us behind. And all sorts of things like that. Sometimes there might be debris piled on a meter base. There might be, someone may have something, a car parked over the meter, and they can't read that meter, and it's just an inefficient system. This brings us into the 21st century. The meter reading will be more accurate, it'll be more timely, and it'll save the city on payroll and on this revenue from water service. Is that?
So you're saying that's how it pays for itself, instead of just gonna be a more accurate reading than the.
And less manpower intensity.
I talked to a lady that came to my neighborhood 4 or 5 minutes ago. I asked her, what about your employment position? And she said now the meter readers will become some kind of like technician, that if there's issues with the installed meters, they will come out and address it.
Talk to them.
Yes, that's right.
You wanna answer that?
Yes, that's right. If there's issues, and like Mayor said, when there's not issues, it will allow them to go over to other departments and help on outstanding projects. It will help them become proactive with water lines, fire hydrants, things like that. Things that don't seem important until they are. Until we have a main break and 3 neighborhoods are out of water, when if we had the manpower to take proactive measures, we could have avoided that. I mean, we could go on and on and on about how these meters will pay for themselves. There's so many different scenarios on how this is going to benefit you all and us as well.
So it's not an individual residential charge per meter. The meters are actually gonna pay for themselves by the activists. Is that correct?
That, they'll also help find water leaks and things like that. If you start seeing, as they continue to build, they're gonna start putting line meters in. So when these line meters see it jump, then Chris is gonna know, hey, in that zone, I probably have a leak, so let's go looking for it, versus always waiting for it to be 3 o'clock in the morning and to shoot down the ground. So again, like you said, the whole system's gonna look at everything in a whole, and it's gonna be more proactive, so that when they find a leak, hopefully it's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, not 2 o'clock in the morning, when everybody went over.
But does that answer my question about how we get paid for it? It's not, the cost isn't going to the residents.
The answer to your question, so are you asking, are the residents paying for the meters that they're being installed?
Yeah, does our
So
cost
the
go
answer to
up
that,
because we're getting?
the answer to that is no.
Okay, thank you.
The residents are not paying for the meters. Those were purchased through grant money, through federal government.
Great, okay, that's what I wanted to know.
The only thing a resident's gonna see is maybe, like Brittany said earlier, you're gonna
Yeah,
see a
your
slight
meter was
increase
incorrect.
in your water bill,
Yeah.
as the meters have been so old. And we see it in 90% of the projects we run, you might see a $3 or $4 increase, maybe a $5, depending on how old your meter is and how inaccurate it is. But that again, so what we want to stress to you is the city's not charging you any more money, they're just charging you more accurate.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And to go back to your first question, we looked at quotes to mail that independently, and we were coming in at around $10,000. We did not feel that that was a good use of taxpayer dollars. I am coming to neighborhood watch groups because that's my easiest, quickest way to get information out. But starting with the July bill, until further notice, we will have information placed on the bill that will direct you to the homepage of our website, where we have that information and more. Plus, we will have information in the July newsletter that will be included with the utility bill. But that's why that letter hasn't gone out yet.
Neighborhood watch, that's creepy. So that's really creepy. Yes, sir.
I'm curious, what do these transmitters look like? How do you know they have?
Hockey puck. Not like a hockey puck.
Oh, I'll show you. Chris.
Not like a hockey puck.
They
Oh,
look like the ones in Nicholas City at the same time.
we've got more modern ones in East Dale City.
This is a newer model, so they're just gonna be a slight different than this. The new, is the ones that you guys have are solid black, but they don't have a solar panel. But again, same design.
They say about high.
You won't see them at all, it'll literally be sitting just like that.
Flush?
Yes, so this part right here will be just a hair above, but the rest of it will be underneath.
Oh.
So the one thing that I will tell you, that I want everybody to understand, these things are not lawnmower proof. Please don't run them over.
You gotta be scalping your yard to get down that one.
I've seen it happen, so I just, the city will start looking at that, so just understand that the first one to put in, the city put it in, if they're damaged, I'm assuming eventually the city will start charging customers. So be very careful when you mow or go over these things, try not to, they'll run over a car running over them, that kind of doesn't hurt, nothing withstands a walk over.
You know, that really brings me comfort for you to show that, because we were worried about them sticking up so high.
Yeah.
They get broken off, frequently.
Yeah.
That really settles a lot with me.
Yeah, we want to make this not only beneficial to the city, but our end goal is to make the city and the consumers work together. We want you guys to get involved with help finding water leaks by being able to get all the data from these. So we don't want this to be cumbersome for you at all.
Thank you.
Right. Say the one we were getting, we're not gonna have the solar.
They will not.
So how are they gonna get power?
They're powered by a lithium-ion battery. They're warranted for 10 and 10, I'm sorry. So they're warranted for 10 years full, 10 years is prorated. But our software also tells the city when the batteries are starting to die. So if it happens to die in that first 10, we're gonna replace it in no time.
If the battery dies, the water still flows. The meter's still
Absolutely.
working, it's just not transmitting the signal.
Correct.
When they change the battery, it'll catch up.
Okay, so there's two different devices. Of course, there's the meter that's in the pit, and then all we're gonna do is plug this device into that meter, and then this will wake up once a day and transmit 72 hours worth of reads. So if for any reason it happened in this day because there was a car parked over the top of it, or somebody had damaged it, when they plug it back in and it reads the next day, it'll backfill that day.
Is the cable adequate length that the lid could still be lifted without?
Yes, ma'am, the cable's 3 foot, and then there's also a 3-foot wire on the meter. So yeah, you got about 6 foot there. Shouldn't have any problems. If it happens to have, if it's too deep, we have extender cables that can go for like 10 foot. Yep. And the install company that's coming over, they're a great team. They've done several good jobs for us. They will, first, when they open the pit, they're gonna look out of the pit, make sure there's no water moving. If there's no water moving, they're gonna change it out real quick and be on the road and everybody knows they're there. If there is water moving, they're gonna knock on your door, hey, Mr. Resident, I'm gonna change out your meter. Normally, with no problems, you're looking at about 15 minutes. By the time they do everything in and out, if there's problems, that can arise. If you have a check valve, a shut off valve that happens to break, it can happen, so, won't be that they'll all be 15 minutes, but they try and keep it that way. But they will have an open, constant communication with Chris, so if anything goes wrong, they're gonna take it and fix it. It'll be Chris.
Always.
Anybody else? Anybody like to speak on anything? One of the things we haven't touched on tonight is the Video Youth Center. The previous year, we were able to purchase the large 2-story white building right behind Gardens off of 29th Street, it's on the Linda Link. We went in and refurbished that building, And that's probably the nicest building Midvale Youth has ever had. Midvale Youth is the organization that takes troubled youth, if somebody's in trouble with the law, or if there's a runway, or if there's a problem, they go to the Midvale Youth Center, where they can receive counseling, they can receive shelter. It's a great organization, and we're real happy to purchase that building for them this year. Thank you, Michael. Anybody else? We're going to sell it. In fact, we could auction it off right now. No. That's in pretty bad shape. It'll have to be completely refurbished. Anybody else like to speak on any item about Dell City? Yes?
Is there any news on when the truck stop business is going around Scotch Street?
We are finalizing the contracts. They have done their due diligence. Their due diligence involves the environmental impact of putting their operation there. They have completed that. The attorneys, everything is with the attorneys. They're signing documents now. We expect to be closing, 30 to 60 days? We should be able to go to closing within 30 to 60 days. Now, they say it's going to take about 2 years to build that store. There's a lot of underground plumbing that goes in, all those gas pumps and diesel and all that. It's a 19-acre facility, and they're saying it'll take about 2 years to complete. The company that's building it is called Road Ranger, and this will be the flagship store for their company. It's going to be the diamond in their company. So, okay, anybody else? Betsy, what you got?
What is going to be done across the street from that, on that, all that land on Scott Street?
You're talking about north of the interstate. There are actually 2 different operations that are vying for that. That property is owned by the Citizen Potawatomi tribe. That's who owns that piece of property. There's a potential car dealership going in there. There's a potential motel restaurant complex. I've heard a lot of things bandied about. We don't have anything on paper yet. Nobody's signed it. But they're talking about it. And when I see dirt moving on Scott Street on the south side, I think that will inspire the north side, because motion begets motion. Sam, you got anything? Thank you. It's a great team. All the staff, the police, fire, public works, HR, and attorneys. You guys do a great job. This is a great place to live. Kyle, have you got something? This one.
Just one, it'll be quick.
Kyle again.
I hope I don't need to communicate this to you. I hope everyone understands and recognizes the sincerity of everyone who's involved in the city, from the employees to us. We really do care, we really are here to better the city. I hope that you, I hope you can communicate it to us.
Vice Mayor Finch, do you have anything you'd like to add before we close? All right, one last shot. Does anybody have anything they'd like to ask, say, or? Hang on just a second, I'm gonna bring you back. Oh, you call it? It's on the corner of Pearl Ray and Sunny Lane. I'm very familiar with it. You see that lady over there in the green shirt? She's the one. Go get her. Count that as a request. Thank you. Again, everybody, I hope it has come across, the whole staff of the city, the staff, the elected officials, we're all in this together. But we depend on the citizens that are helping us. We depend on the people giving us feedback. And we appreciate everyone that came out here tonight. we're gonna have to have a motion to close this public portion. I will entertain a motion to close the public discussion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy. Councilman Brown. Councilman Dean. Councilman Finch. Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. The public hearing portion is now closed. Thank you everyone for coming out. We have a bunch of cheesecake and cookies. And if you guys don't help Brittany